Hello everyone, I'm on the south coast of Turkey, about 8 to 10 hours drive from the epicenter of the earthquake. Now this is where I slept last night, a fairly rudimentary structure. It's a cafe on the beach in Edinich, I think it's called. It isn't open until the warmer weather comes along. Last night it was 1 degree. So when I arrived here, I swept the place out. There's a broom over there in the corner. I did some quick repairs. I used a brick to slam a piece of slate under this brown pole to keep it from knocking me in the head in the middle of the night. I started off with 1 crate of empty Carlsbergs to hold down the tarpaulin, but it wasn't enough with the gust and wind. It just blew it away like confetti. Again, I used a brick to jam this pole under the ground to stop the wind coming in. I mean, it's razor sharp, the wind. And I tied down the tarpaulin. Sorry, I didn't tie it down. I used bricks here. Again, I started with 1 or 2, but it wasn't enough. They just get tossed away when the gust and wind comes along. I found a tie pool on the ground. I managed to tie it this bit down here. And again, I managed to construct something to keep this bit closed. And although I wasn't super warm during the night, that was with 3 hats on, 4 tops, 3 pairs of trousers and 3 pairs of socks. I was able to lie flat for 10 hours, get some rest and recover. I wanted to cycle over I wanted to cycle further yesterday over the hill in front, but the road is just too narrow. I've been on it before, too windy, and with the gusts of wind I just get blown into the centre of the road, and it isn't the place to be with the convoys of cars, trucks carrying articulated vehicles carrying excavation equipment. There's ambulances, there's paramedics, the road's extremely busy. But last night as I was lying awake listening to the waves and the tarpaulin smashing against this structure, I thought of the poor people who are now homeless, the ones that have survived, and they're too scared to go back into the buildings, and there isn't any shelter for them. And I'm sure they would have been more than delighted to sleep in a place like this, whereas many of you back home probably look at it and think, what a hovel. But it's always relative. And I was certainly delighted to have this place last night, and as I lay there I was almost tempted to turn my bike in the opposite direction and see if there was any help I could give, but I would probably just get in the way because my skills are not really suitable for anything that was required. So I just lay and sent love for the survivors. And on the boat I met a man from the epicenter, the town. I'm not going to begin to pronounce it, but it's famous for its ice cream. He's a law student, and as we came off the boat he was away to drive back there, but he wouldn't have got there in time for the earthquake. But can you imagine his thoughts when he did get there? Anyway, my heart goes out to him. So take care, look after yourselves, and remember, you only have the moment. You never know what's round the corner, so make the most of them. As always, a big hug. Much love, Eric.